That's right, folks. It's a sequel. This is part 2 of my weekly watch list series. And oh, by the way, my name is Jeff Kohler, aka the Option Addict, and I am from optionaddict.blogspot.com. I'm going to go through part 2 of my weekly watch list, some other ideas, things that I'm watching for potential breakouts, bounces, blah, 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 blah. I want to first start out, of course, with First Solar. Again, just want to make sure everyone saw part 1. But I also want to take a look at the Dow Jones or the S&P or the NASDAQ or whatnot. And are you really all that bullish on the market? It's summer. I'm not expecting any huge movements. The only thing I can say here is that it's earnings season, and maybe some positive earnings announcements take us into some record close territory. But if not, I think we might see a little bit of a pullback in the market. And it's kind of odd that 99% of this week's watch list is all bearish. I'm probably not going to go through all of them on the video. I'll probably do a written follow-up post with all these ideas. But here it is. Look at all this. Unbelievable. Let's start with a couple breakouts, things that I'm watching. I'm going to go to Church and Dwight, which is a repeat. But I'm watching the stock to break below $48 per share, hopefully for a bearish trade. And it hasn't done so yet. A little bit of a descending triangle here, but again, I make no move until we break 48. Next on the list is Zimmer Holdings, and you'll notice kind of a similar chart pattern here, with support, of course, being in different numbers. And you'll see that right at around the $83, $84 range, and you'll see the highs getting a little bit lower. Waiting for a break of 84 before I touch this guy, and hopefully decide to get short this stock and ride some new lower lows. Next I've got Nice. And call me crazy, but I shorted this thing today, and I don't know. I really don't know why. As far as risk reward, I don't know. I mean, if you're a chart pattern enthusiast and you know what in the world a falling wedge is, maybe that's what we've got here with this stock, which would mean I want it to break to the upside, but I shorted it, so maybe I didn't see the wedge. I actually give no credence to wedges. But if you look at this stock, I thought that, here's my reasoning, 35. It looked kind of like a magic number, a little bit of a break below that and some big volume. So if it breaks back above 35, I'm going to get lost. But if not, I hope the stock continues on downward, hopefully to the next level of feasible support, which would be about 32.5. Again, call me crazy. I'm going to go next to CYMI, and I think Cyber is more of a joke now than anything. I mean, I've been talking about this thing for like half of the year. I'd love it to break 40. Just to redeem myself, to quit talking about it. I've had this stock on my watch list forever. I would just like it to break. Next, I've got HIG. Hartford Financial. The financials really suck right now. So get short some HIG if it decides to break below, let's call it 98 or 97.5. And check this out. Nordstrom's. We talked about this last week. Waiting for that moment when it broke support, because, man, when it did it, it was just going to be an event. It was going to be amazing. And it's just been boring. I mean, look at the stock just drifting lower. Maybe that's because the market's drifting higher. I want to test this guy out, though. I'm not going to get rid of it until I see the market pull back substantially and Nordstrom not do a thing. Then I'll start to get worried. Next, I wish I could have brought this to your attention earlier in the week, but it just slipped my mind. Lufkin. And resistance giving way for this stock, right? Let's call it 66. I'll probably raise that line here a little bit to these levels. And you can see on Friday we got a big break and we got some volume. And what a great follow-up today. Again, I think it's really tough to manage your risk from here. But if you're on the sidelines, watch it. I think the stock moves a little bit. Next, CNX. Got to wait for a break above 50. This stock breaks 50, it's going to 60. Let's put it that way. Eventually. A couple other things. Some stocks bouncing off of support. If you missed the dip in Crocs, take the breakout in Crocs. Do whatever you can to trade Crocs. This is one of the stocks that's propelling the market, so you know what? Don't put a whole lot of risk into it, but you got to get long some Crocs. And if you look right now at the stock, I think it's easy to manage your risk here. Okay, if it breaks down below this magic level, we'll call it 47, exit the trade. If not, it has legs. Let it run. I'm going to go next to JOSB. Great support bounce we talked about last week. It's still right along its trend line, so it's an easy to manage trade. If you decide to get long some retail, take a look at this stock. It's one of the leaders in that group. Okay, so my bearish ideas. I'm not going to be able to fit all this in 10 minutes, but here we go. Heelys. My daughter owns a pair of these. It's my wife's maiden name, so it's definitely a reason to be bearish. If you look at this stock here, Classic. Look at that. It's perfect. Coming right up to old support is new resistance and turning down. It's a classic entry point. This stock's going to have lawsuits all over the place pretty soon because my daughters fell like about a dozen times. I think we ought to sue the company. But anyway, look at the stock right here. It's a classic textbook setup. If you're looking for a bearish trade, watch the stock. Next, DNA was on last week's watch list, but take a look at that setup. It's still relatively easy to manage as far as your risk is concerned. Next, let's go to Panera. Same thing, taking a little bit of the dip here, this old support, kind of acting as a new resistance and turning down. So Panera, obviously a good downtrend. FLML, maybe if we move fast, we might be able to get all these here. Downtrend, look for this to roll back over and hopefully hit down. If it breaks below 20, we're talking, $18, $17 pretty easy. Next, public storage. This has been a great short, and it's another great opportunity. Old support, new resistance. Try to catch it here at about 81. If it breaks above, exit the trade. It's all pretty easy, isn't it? Kimco. Look at that dip. Getting ready to roll back over again. I've been really, really short, bearish on these stocks, and look how it's paid off. It's been really well. DDR. Look at that. Developers diversified. Similar chart pattern, probably a correlated stock, so don't trade them both. REG, talked about this on Friday. Still looks like a good entry point, says me. HCP, healthcare properties, healthcare in general, properties in general, bearish, bearish, bearish. Short this thing. TTEC, there is another one. Downward trend, rolling over. It's going to be the same thing, so let's just keep cruising through here. NTY. This one more of a horizontal level. ACLI. You've got it coming this way, and you've got it moving this way, so there's a couple different ways you can look at this. Let's go to PFCB. I love this. It's time for another shorting opportunity. It might rise a little bit more, or at least travel sideways for probably another week or so, and then it might be a great opportunity to get short this stock. Let's go MAC. We got a kind of downtrend, resistance bounce, classic. SEIC, again, all bearish trades. This one here, 29 and rolling lower. Keep an eye on that one. BTU, retest city of that head and shoulders. Very careful here. 50 is the magic number. Don't let it go any higher if you're going to short it. NTAP. And look at that. This thing isn't even going to rise a whole lot before it wants to roll over again. So, I don't know. Not a lot of volatility here, so be careful with that one. But still looks like a good short. St. Jude's, STJ. Look at this one just starting to roll over. It's early in this trend, but I like for the stock to at least hit $40 per share off of this trend line. Let's go ATI. We all remember this setup. I'm already short ATI based on this level right through here. Kind of rolling over. Looking for the stock to break below 100. Let's see, NYX. You got the downtrend here. I got so many trend lines. I apologize. What am I doing? But look for it to kind of rise up a little bit, maybe as high as $80 per share. And as soon as it does that, get ready to short it. We got VTR next. Boom, the downtrend. Trade the strength here. Fade that little rally it's had. EGP. So many bearish ideas this week. There it is. Resistance. You guys see it. FRT. Same thing. Looking at it horizontally this time though. Looks like it's ready to roll over. GGP. Some more property stocks. They're horrible. Short them. HNI. And look at this one kind of going right here at about 42. And last but not least, BXP. Same thing, kind of a sideways action there. I'm tired. That's everything. 2 videos, all the trades I'm looking for, plenty to fill your basket with this week. If you have any questions, find me at optionaddict.blogspot.com, and best of luck to you in the market this week. See ya.